everybody. This is Guidance 507, and it is the Fast Track 2 course for fall of 2022. Now, in case you're wondering what I'm doing with my hand over here, I actually have a black cat sitting on my lap. She's very cute. She's here for now. But, that's one of the fun things about, working from home is you have your pets and whatnot that you can kind of be with. So that's what I'm doing. So this class is going to take up a good portion of your time. And I'm just letting you know from the beginning that it is a class that requires you to be checking in constantly on Canvas, and that you'll need to be doing homework every single week, including your reading. It's going to take you about 9 hours a week, 3 hours for your reading, 3 hours for your Canvas materials, and then 3 hours of homework. And that is the amount of class time and work time that every class should have. But I've noticed a lot of college classes, they don't actually require that much work. But my class requires the full amount of work that is, recommended for college courses. And the course is designed to help you to become the best student that you can possibly be, because I feel like we do our best by actually doing things. Like, we learn the best by doing things. And so the class is actually set up as an activity. It's a time management exercise. So in this class, you'll be required to get a day planner and your 2 textbooks, and you'll be required to manage your time. And you'll be required to juggle a large number of assignments each week. And because there's a large amount of assignments, that means that there's more chances for success for you. And that if you miss one, it's not going to be as terrible as if there were only 3 assignments in the class. So the more assignments there are, the better for you guys, and the more you have to learn as well. So because of that, there is no late work. So I do not take late work for any reason. Actually, there are 2 reasons. So if you are serving on a jury duty, or you're incarcerated or basically detained by the government for some reason for a week, then I will let you make up that week of work. If you or your children, and I do include stepchildren, but I don't include other family members outside of your nuclear family. So if you or your kids are sick, then and you can show me this was a whole week that I missed because my child was sick or because I was sick, then I will let you make up those assignments. But you have a whole week to do all the assignments, so there really shouldn't be a problem if you miss a day or something happens during the week that you can't get all the work in. You should be able to. So I actually have a little list here of everything that I need to go through, and everything that I'm going to say in this video is very relevant and very important. And if you skip this video, you're going to be very confused, and you may end up being dropped from the class, because I do have some requirements that you need to take care of right away. And if you don't take care of those requirements, I will drop you. Okay, so also most of the things that I am going to require of you throughout the term, I'm going to explain now here in the course introduction. Okay, so please watch this video all the way through till the end if you plan on taking the class, or you will be very confused. I have a lot of students who seem to think that they can skip the course introduction, and they are so confused the entire term. They never really catch up, and they never figure it out, because all the critical information for the entire class is in this video. So please watch it, or at the very least, just listen to it, because I'm going to be just kind of talking throughout the video. It's just going to be me staring at the screen talking. So if you'd rather just listen, that's cool too. If you have trouble hearing, you can actually cue up the captions. They do closed captioning on YouTube, so you just click on the CC button at the bottom of the video. If you want a transcript and you'd rather read this information, you can actually you'll have to pull up the video on YouTube by clicking on the YouTube icon at the bottom of the video, and it'll pull it up on YouTube for you. And then you click the 3 little dots. I think it's at the bottom, might be at the top, I can't remember, but there's 3 little dots. You click on that, and then you can actually get the transcript, and you can just read through it. So either way, however you want to do it, that works for me. So the first thing I need to tell you about is the course announcements. You need to check announcements every time you log into Canvas. This is the only way that I have to communicate with you throughout the term. And so if you're skipping the course announcements, you're going to miss important information, because I will give you reminders about assignments, I'll give you reminders about, really important information. Like if I have office hours or meetings available that you can come see me, you want to know when those are. I also explain changes. So like if there's a change to the schedule or a change to an assignment, or I decide to delete an assignment, I let you know there. But if you're not paying attention and you're not reading the announcements, you might end up doing stuff that you don't even have to do because maybe I removed it from the coursework for that week. So please make sure that you're checking the announcements every time you log into Canvas. You should be logging in at least 3 times a week, I would say. You probably end up logging in more than that because there's a lot to be done. But I would say three days out of the week minimum you should be checking in, and you should check the announcements those 3 times that you check in. If you're constantly on Canvas, and you don't have to check in every single time you log in, but I would say check the announcements at least 3 times a week because I do update them a couple times during each week. Okay, so announcements is important. You're going to do that, right? You're going to do it, right? Good. Okay, excellent. The next thing you need to know is that this particular section of this class, it's kind of weird the way they have things set up. So I had to do something kind of drastic, and I kind of feel bad because I feel like it's going to be confusing to some people. So that's why I'm explaining it now. So if people who are not listening to this video are going to get so confused and so lost, and I apologize in advance that it's confusing, and there's not much I can do. So basically what's going on is that our class starts on October 17th, which is a Monday, and my census drop for the class, which is basically when I go in and drop people who never entered the class, it's on October 20th. So it's like a couple days later. And usually they give me like a week before I have to drop people like that, even with fast track classes. But this time, I don't know if they messed up or something's wrong. But essentially, that means that you guys are going to have to complete something for me before the 20th. So I know whether I should drop you or not. So listen up very carefully. So there's this assignment. It's called the syllabus contract, and it goes along with the course syllabus. And I need you to sign that contract and turn it in on Canvas before the 20th. So I made that assignment the first assignment you'll encounter in Canvas. And when you encounter that assignment, you need to do it right away and turn it in before the 19th. It is due October 19th at 11:59 p.m. If you fail to turn in that syllabus contract, on the 20th is my census drop. I will be dropping anyone who has not turned in that contract. You will not have a lot of wiggle room for me to chase you down and make you sign it. So it's basically like either you sign it by the 19th and turn it in, or you don't. And if you do not, then you will not be able to continue in the class. I need you to have that signed before the census drop in order to keep you in the class. I hope that makes sense. You will be going into that assignment and you will have to sign it using DocuSign. DocuSign is a digital signature. And so what I want you to do is use DocuSign to sign that contract. The instructions are in the assignment and they are very, very, very explicit. Like I have it all laid out for you. I even have a video that takes you through how to do it. You need to use the link that I have in that assignment rather than just going to DocuSign.com, because if you go to DocuSign.com, it takes you to the business page, and the business page requires money. But the page that I'm giving you, it takes you to the trial, the free trial, so you will be able to use it for free. And if you have a free account already, or you can set up a free account basically, or if you have a free account already, you can just use that. And the thing is, you just can't email with a free account, so you'll get the document and you'll have to just download that and then you'll upload it into the assignment. You also have to ask me a question or leave me a comment on that assignment. And I think in the video I kind of screwed that up. So I will accept if you put the comment in the text box in the assignment, and you kind of see that when you get there. So just to reiterate and make sure you understand completely, you must go into Canvas right away and complete the syllabus contract by the 19th. So you've got 2 days and that's it. If you do not complete the contract by that date, you will be dropped from the class. I will not be sending out any information like, oh, I see you didn't sign that. You're going to be dropped. it'll be like, my email will be, you're being dropped. And you will probably already be dropped by the time you read that email. So hopefully all of you are paying attention. I am sending out this video to you guys a little early, so that way you have a chance to kind of hear the information before you get there. And I will put in that email that I send you the importance of signing the syllabus contract to stay in the class. So hopefully this all works out, because normally it's not quite this quick of a couple of days. Usually people have a week to turn in that syllabus contract, but the way they have things set up, it's just weird this term. So sorry guys, I'm really sorry that it's so weird. The other thing that you must do, or that you must understand, is that a lot of the items in Canvas for the course introduction section and week 1 must be marked as done before you can move on. And this is the part where, like, if you don't watch this course introduction video, a lot of you guys would be really confused on, why can't I get to the syllabus contract? Okay, so this is what you need to do. When you're going through things in Canvas, you need to use what we call the module view. Please don't just go to the home page and then click on the week and think you can get through everything, because my Canvas is not set up to work like that. And I know a lot of instructors' Canvases are, but mine isn't. So if you try to just go to, like, if you're on the home page and you'll see actually this video at the top of the page, and then underneath it you'll see course introduction, week 1, week 2, week 3, and I got all the way to week 8. If you click on that, what's going to happen is you'll click on it and it'll take you to, you know, the first page, which is usually like a list of what's due and stuff, and then it'll take you to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. But you have to keep clicking next, next, next. But the problem is some assignments or some things don't have a next button, and so you'll get stuck and you won't be able to get to the rest of the material for the rest of the week. I don't know why the Canvas is like this. I really don't. It's just so strange that it's so temperamental, but like literally the button just doesn't appear sometimes. It just glitches. And so I gave up on trying to do things that way a long time ago, because as an instructor, I got really frustrated having to click through everything. Next, next, next. It was just so annoying. So what I like to do instead is use modules. So if you, on the left-hand side, it'll be on your left, which I guess will be over here for you, but it'll be on your left-hand side. You'll see a little thing called modules. You click on that and it'll take you to a list that includes all the weeks that are open in Canvas. So this week, the only 2 blocks that you're gonna see are course introduction, and then you'll see week 1. But you won't be able to access all of it until you mark things as done. But the good thing about module view is you can see everything, and you can kind of see where you are, and you can see what's there, see what's available. So you'll kind of see what you can't get to as well, which will be helpful. It's better than just trying to click through, because you might not even understand that you are missing stuff because you don't really know it's there. So modules, use that. Go to the first thing on the modules and then just, you know, click back out and go back to modules, and then go to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. So you can actually access everything that way very easily. Well, I've kind of lost my train. Oh, marking as done. So what you'll do when you see something in modules view, it'll say mark as done, and underneath it. So it'll be like the name of the assignment, and then right underneath it'll say mark as done, or it'll be like submission required. Okay, so if it's a mark as done, you go to that page, click on it, look at the stuff, and either on the right hand upper or right hand lower, you'll see a little box that says mark as done with a little circle. So you just click on the circle, and then it fills in the circle with a little blue dot, and then you've marked it as done. You've completed that page. Then you will be able to move on to the next thing. So you just have to click on that little thing that says mark as done. It just tells me, okay, this student knows how to follow directions. They know, they listen to this video, they know what's going on. Because if you don't know what's going on because you haven't watched the course introduction, you're gonna have to contact me and say, I'm confused, I don't know what's going on. And then I'll say, okay, you need to make sure you get that syllabus contract in by Tuesday, you know, and also use module view, and also watch the course introduction, because you're going to be confused the rest of the term unless you do that. So luckily you guys are watching this, so I know it's not you. It's those other people who aren't watching this. So you'll mark it as done. And if it says submission required, that means you'll have to complete the assignment and submit it before you can move on. And that's how the syllabus contract is. So until you submit the syllabus contract, you will not be able to move on further in the course. So a lot of students are like, why is the syllabus contract that important? Why would you drop me if I don't complete it? And here's why. So a long time ago, I've been teaching this class forever. So since I think the program started in 2007, and I've been here since then. So a long time. I've been at Chafee for a total of, I think that I'm going on my 18th year now. So that's 17 years total so far that I've been at Chafee teaching. And I've been teaching this class since 2007. So it's been a long run for me. And I've been teaching it online for quite a while as well. And so I kind of have my stuff together to the point where, I know it works. I know it doesn't work. And I know how to help people. I know how to not, you know what I mean? I know it works. I know it doesn't. So the reason why there is a syllabus contract is because at a certain point in me teaching the class, I had a student complain about some things to the dean of students. And they were kind of stupid things in my opinion. One of them was that I like to cuss a lot, and the thing is I don't like to cuss a lot. It's just sort of like sometimes when I get really excited about something or passionate about something, a bad word might slip out. Or, some of the materials that I've used in the class contain cuss words and things like that. So I had people who were like offended by this. So that's why I now have a syllabus contract that kind of covers everything that you might encounter while you're in the course. The other part of it is that we talk about really, we talk about mature topics, okay? We talk about things in here that, you don't talk about in most classes. They're personal things that, like drug addiction and anorexia and procrastination and about, feeling worthless or depressed or having anxiety. So mental illness, we talk about that. So we talk about a lot of really personal issues, and people tell personal stories, they give examples, and we're looking at our own lives and examining them and trying to figure out where we can improve, where we need help. And so as we're doing that, we are talking about these really deep topics. And because we're talking about these deep topics, it's important that everyone in this class signs an agreement saying, we're not going to go around telling other people about this stuff. It's going to be confidential and stay within this class. We're here to help and support one another, not to, go around talking about other people's business with others. And so when you sign that contract, you're basically saying, I agree to keep the personal information of other students confidential. And I agree that, same thing goes for me too. Like, I'm going to keep your stuff confidential. And yes, there may be cuss words. Yes, there may be things that are inappropriate for college classes, but this isn't a normal college class. This is completely different. In this class, we will be working to become better students, but also to become better people. Because you cannot become a better person, you cannot become a better student without becoming a better person, and you cannot become a better person without examining yourself and trying to figure out what you need to do to achieve the things that you want to achieve. And a lot of times that comes down to our own self-esteem, the way we view ourselves, how we reflect on what's happened to us, how we process the information that we're given, and how we respond to failure. Because a lot of people think failure is a bad thing, when in reality, failure is a normal part of life that is designed to teach us what we need to do for the next time and the next time and the next time. So if you're sitting here feeling like, oh man, I don't want to be in this class, I'm such a failure, please don't, because you're not a failure. You're not. You are just on a journey like everybody else. We're all on a journey. We're all learning, okay? And so for some of us, maybe school is easy. For others, maybe school is super difficult. But it doesn't matter whether it's easy or difficult, because there's always going to be obstacles. There are always going to be things that are going to complicate what you're doing, whether it's school, work, or something else. So we're going to be looking at that stuff. And so I want you to sign that contract, because I want you to tell me, I agree. I will keep all this stuff confidential, because we're going to get started right away. And when we get started, we're immediately going to be talking about personal stuff. And I don't want anybody going into that coursework where we're doing personal stuff without signing that contract. So that's why it's really important that you sign that. And I apologize in advance if I do cuss throughout the term. Or I know some of the videos do have cuss words in them and things like that. So sorry if that bothers you. If it does, could you please just shrug and go, some people do that, and move on. Because it's nothing personal, and it's not there to be offensive. It's just some people just cuss sometimes when they're passionate about something. That's me. All right, so we're moving on to our next topic here. So let's see. Okay, you need to get your materials for the class, and what you're going to need is a day planner. I don't think I actually have my day planner handy. I might. Let me look. I do. Here it is. So you need a day planner, and honestly, I don't think I have any rules or requirements in terms of how big or small it has to be. The only requirement that I have about the day planner is that it needs to be an actual weekly or daily. So if you open it up, it needs to either be a day on each page or a week on both the pages. What I don't want is that it's a month on both the pages, because that won't give you enough space to write in everything that I'm going to require you to write in. And I want you to use your day planner every single week. There's a whole video on how to use the day planner, and there's also a written instructions on how to use the day planner, but I'm just going to go over the very briefest version of how to use it. So what I want you to do is at the beginning of the week, I want you to look at your course syllabus, not anything else, the course syllabus. And I want you to look at the assignments, and I want you to put them in your day planner. And you can do one of two things. You can either put the assignments in on the due date and then work backwards and figure out when you're going to do each one. Or you can put the list of assignments at the beginning of the week and then put the due date at the end, and then figure out where you're going to put those things. I want you to try to schedule each and every assignment, when you're going to do it. Because as you go through the course, you're going to notice there's a lot of assignments. And the reason why there's so many is because I want you to learn how to plan. And the only way to make sure that you do that is to actually put you in a situation where you need to, in order to kind of get through and survive. So by giving you lots of assignments and having you try to juggle all of that stuff, I'm requiring you to use that day planner, because without it, you are going to have a hard time. But with it, you're going to be successful. And by doing it this way, I've learned that students actually do learn how to manage their time. I used to have a lot less assignments in the class, but because I've learned that it works, that people work best or learn best when they are actually immersed in a situation where they have to use the information. So if you were having to use the day planner because you've got too many assignments to kind of just keep them in your head, or figure out when you're going to do them on the fly, and you have to plan ahead, you're going to use the day planner. And if you use the day planner, you're going to learn that it helps quite a bit, and that is very essential for success in college. And so I'm forcing you into using it. I mean, I can't make you, I guess. If you really don't want to use the day planner, you're not going to use it. But I really invite you to try to use it and try to use that tool, because there's a reason why so many people use a day planner. It's because it works. You cannot use a digital day planner for the class. Sorry. And a lot of people have asked me over the years, how come? And the answer is because the paper and pencil day planner is far superior to the digital day planner. And these are the reasons why. Number one, okay, so I'm on my phone and I'm trying to put in an appointment, and all of a sudden I get 3 texts from 3 different people, and I'm in my calendar trying to put this in, but those texts keep popping up and my finger accidentally hits one, and then I'm over in text land, and then I'm well, I'm here, I might as well text her back, and then I text her back, and then I'm what was I doing again? And then I forget to put the thing in my day planner, and then I forget all about it, right? That happens. That happens to me almost every time I try to put something into my calendar on my phone, because I'm a busy person. I have lots of people texting me, and there's never a dull moment. And so, yeah. The other thing is, on a phone, when you're in your actual calendar or day planner, it's you can't just see everything at a glance. You have to open each day to kind of see what's in the day. At least on my phone, I have an iPhone, and it's just not that great. But with a day planner, it's you just open it up, and then all your stuff is right there. And once you get used to kind of having it and carrying it with you and using it, it's an amazing tool for you, especially for school. but it works great for work and other items as well. When I have basically 3 jobs right now. I'm working a lot. And so without a day planner, I don't know what I would do, to be honest. I'm glad I have that, and I'm glad that I know how to use it. So you guys will too. We will be doing a lot of time management stuff in this class. So you will get better at managing your time and overcoming procrastination. And I know a lot of people procrastinate. Okay, a lot of people. Everyone procrastinates. It's just, do we admit that we do? Okay, so our other books that we have to get. So you got to get the day planner, and then you also have to get this book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens by Sean Covey. Now there's a couple of versions of this book. This is the older version. It's just like a pair of jeans on the cover. The newer version has like iPod, I can't even point, iPod earphones hanging out of the pocket as the updated cover. So either one of those is fine, but I'm requiring that you get the digital version because this is an 8-week class and we don't have time for you to wait around to get your books. So I am telling you to get the digital version so you don't fall behind, because you do have to turn this proof that you bought this book by next Monday. And all of the assignments that are in the syllabus on any given week are due on the following Monday by 11:59 p.m. So your books, proof that you've purchased them, will be due on Monday. So you'll have to show me that you have purchased the books. Okay, the other book that you need to get is On Course by Skip Downey. It must be the 8th edition. And this is the teacher's edition because this is mine. But what I've noticed is this part right here, like where just the blue and the white part, is what the student book looks like. So this is the teacher's edition, and so it has this extra stuff around the outside, and your book will just have this. Now, in the bookstore at Chafee, I have the digital version or the ebook of this version as the required book for the class. And that the reason why I'm requiring the digital copy of the book is because I want you to have access to it right away. There is homework out of this book right away. So you will have homework that requires you to have this book and use this book this week. The other one, there's reading from it, but it's like you don't have assignments out of it this week. So this one you have a little wiggle room. This one you do not. Now I have a video that I will be, I probably already sent it to you, but if I haven't, it will be up in the assignment. So if you go to the assignment where it says purchase your textbooks, you will have a video that shows you where to buy the cheapest versions of the books. I believe that you can get this one for about, I think it's $30 for a rental from, I think from the bookstore. But on chegg.com, it's even cheaper. I think it's like $15.99 for the few months that we're going to be in class. So you could just rent it, and this is the ebook. You just rent it. Now, you can also, I think this one, there's an audiobook. I have a whole video on how to find the cheapest version of the books. If you want the cheapest version, then look at that video, please. Now, the other thing that you can do, and I should say this too before I go on. If you are getting money or you received money for your textbooks, like you have a book grant or something like that through Chafee, and I think everybody got one this semester, but because this is a late start class, I don't know if all of you have already used all your book money or what's going on with that. But if you did get that sort of money, or like you're using financial aid money in order to purchase your books, you need to purchase them through the Chafee bookstore. So you will not be able to get the cheapest versions like I do in that video. But if you did not get like a book grant and you're just using your own money, please watch that video so you can get the cheapest books and the cheapest day planner, because I have links to all of that stuff along with that video. Okay, so those are the books. Now, when you turn in that assignment, you're going to have to show me a picture of you with all the books. So you'll hold up your books like this so I can see, oh, I got all of them. I can take a photo like this, and then turn that in. Or if you already have copies of the books, but they're digital, please just take a photo, like a screenshot of one of the inside pages of the book. Don't take a picture of the cover or the title pages, because those are really accessible online. Like you could just go pull a photo of that and put it on there and say, oh, I bought the book. The other thing you could do is send me receipts that show me that you purchased them. So you can just send the receipts. That works for me. Or you can send me like the tracking information that shows it's coming to you. That works for me as well. So it just has to have the name of the book and show me like, On Course by Skip Downing 8th edition. Now, I'm going to reiterate that you need to get the 8th edition of this book. There's so many other editions out there. I think maybe they're on the 10th edition now. 8th edition is the one we're using. These are very different from edition to edition. The other thing is the study skills version, do not get that. You do not need or want the study skills version. It is not the same in any possible way. Just On Course, not study skills, okay? The other thing is you don't need MindTap. MindTap is a program that goes along with this that has all the assessments and things in it. It's really expensive and you don't need it. Like, please don't purchase that. So hopefully that covers all of that. Okay, so the next thing on the list, back to my outline here. Okay, so you need to follow instructions carefully in Canvas, because one of the things I noticed as an instructor when I first started teaching was that students were they were crummy at following directions. So like I would give them a test and the test would have really, nice instructions on there, but students would just skip the instructions and go straight to the test, not realizing that, the instructions were a little different than what they might have just anticipated or thought. And that really, I wondered why students didn't read the instructions. But I notice a lot of people don't do that in life either. Like when you get a new phone or something, do you read all the whole manual? No. So, you're used to just kind of skipping instructions and just trying to jump into stuff. But with college, you really can't do that because teachers are always changing things up on you and the instructions might not be what you are anticipating. It's not like real life at all, sorry. So what I'm teaching you in this class is how to be a good student, right? So how to do well in college. And so if you want to do well in college, that means you need to learn to read every single bit of instructions. So in order to ensure that you do that, or to teach you that it's important to do that, I have very detailed instructions on every single assignment, and they are not all the same. I do make them so they differ. I mix things up. I require different amounts of work. So on a lot of assignments, I'll say things like, this answer needs to have at least 5 sentences or you won't get full credit. And then if you only write 2 sentences, then I'm going to take off points because you're missing sentences. And the other thing is this class is basically the work is, it's all work about your own personal stuff. And so when you're talking or writing about yourself, who am I to say whether you're right or wrong about your own experience, right? So how would I grade that? Oh, you did it, you didn't do it. So I've learned as an instructor that it's easiest to grade it on whether you followed the instructions that I gave you or not. So literally your entire grade is going to be based off of whether you followed the instructions on the assignments or not. So that's why it's very important that you read the instructions carefully. And I would say even after you're done with the assignment, before you go to turn it in, read the instructions one more time and make sure you followed them, because that's how you will miss points. And it sucks to complete a full assignment and not get full credit because you just didn't, read the instructions. You'll be mad at yourself. So most students get kind of tired of getting their points removed after a couple of weeks. They're like, okay, I'm going to suck it up and I'm going to start reading these instructions. And I notice a huge shift in, people's grades at about week 3 when they realize, oh, I do have to read the instructions. So that's why I'm kind of telling you ahead of time so going in, hey, I need to read the instructions. So you do. All right, so our next thing. Oh, this is really important, really important. So Canvas has certain technical glitches that you need to know about and be aware of. And maybe you already know about them because you've been using Canvas for some time. But I've noticed even people that use it a lot maybe don't know about these things. So the first one is that Canvas times out, constantly. It is so annoying. So for example, if you're working on an assignment and you're typing directly into the text box and all of a sudden the doorbell rings and you have to go get the doorbell and you go get the door, and by the time you come back, maybe it's 10 minutes later, and you sit down to continue your work and everything looks fine. It it looks like nothing is going wrong. You have no idea, and you'll just keep typing, and then when you go to press send or enter or upload, it tells you that Canvas timed out, and so you end up losing all of that work. It doesn't save it for you. I can't tell you how many times this has happened to me, and so that's why I'm warning you. What a lot of people do, and what I do personally, is I will type up my stuff in another program. So I use Microsoft Word, but some people use Pages, some people use Google Docs. Any of those are fine, but you just type up your stuff in that program, and then when you're ready to, put it into Canvas, you just copy and paste it, and that way you have it in case something happens. Okay, so the other thing that's kind of important, and this will be important when you do your textbook upload, so you'll have 3 things to upload. And let's say you took 3 separate pictures. Maybe you took a picture with this, took a picture with that, and a picture with this. And so now you have 3 photos to upload. Now you cannot upload these things all separately. I know. It's like Canvas is stuck in the 90s and has not updated itself. So let me explain. So what you'll have to do, you'll go to the assignment, and then you'll click, upload, and then you'll click on the first picture and upload that, and so it'll go in. And then you'll click on add another, and then you'll upload this, and that'll go in. And then you click on add another, and then you'll click on this, and then you'll click upload, and then it will work. But if you do it the other way, so let's say I uploaded this, and it's in there, and I go to upload, and I press upload. Now this one is in there, right? It's in there. But when I go to upload this one, if I didn't upload them together at the same time, then when I upload this one, it'll bump this one out and it won't be there anymore. So all that will be there is this one. And I need all 3 of them. So you have to upload all 3 at the same time in order to achieve that. And some people, if you didn't know that with Canvas, you would get frustrated or you would end up losing a lot of points. And I would hate for you to lose your points because you didn't know how to upload things properly. Now, in that assignment where it's like upload your textbooks, there's actually a video that shows you how to upload things like that. So there's a video, and you should be able to follow those directions just fine. So hopefully. Okay, so the last thing that you need to know is that links to assignments do not work in Canvas in the way I have mine set up. Maybe with other instructors, they have Google Docs linked up properly. I do not. And the reason why is because people use lots of different link sharing programs like Dropbox and Google. But I mean, like Yahoo does it. There's a lot of different, clients that do that for you. But the problem is not all of them are integrated with Canvas properly. And yes, Google Docs, links to Google Docs can work in Canvas, but it's such a complicated process that I literally gave up on trying to help students with this process because they would just screw it up every single time, no matter how many instructions I gave. It's confusing. It is confusing. And so because it's confusing and because it doesn't work most of the time, unless you do it this one crazy way that isn't intuitive and nobody reads the directions enough to get that, I just said no more of these links. I'm tired of dealing with this. So what was happening is students were turning in their assignments via Google Docs with a link. So and it's like the link I'd click on it and it wouldn't work. And then I would contact the student and be like, your link didn't work. And then they would be like, oh, well, let me email it to you. And then they would have to email me the assignment. And then I have to go to my email and go look at the assignment and then give them a grade. And that's just a hassle for me because I do my grading in Canvas. I don't want to have to go into my email and go find your work. And you know what I mean? It was just annoying. And then the other thing about it that I didn't like is that students were abusing it. They would turn in things via link. And then if the link didn't work, which it never did, then they would be like, oh, let me email it to you. And it would be the next day before I got that email. And that would give them a whole nother day to complete the assignment. So I had no idea if they were just messing with me, they didn't complete it and they were just trying to buy extra time. So because of that, we no longer use any type of link sharing. So, and we will not be using that for any reason at all in this class ever. So no Dropbox, no Google Docs links. If you use a Google Doc to complete your stuff, please just turn it into a Microsoft document, which you can do, or just copy and paste the body of the document into the text box and you're good to go. There's no need to use link sharing, period. Okay? Because it doesn't work in Canvas anyways. So those are the three big things that you need to know about Canvas and the problems that I've dealt with. So if you have a problem uploading, because sometimes I've had students who've told me that they've had trouble uploading to Canvas, but it's kind of interesting that these problems only seem to occur right at the deadline or the due date. So Monday at 11:59 is the due date, right? And I will get people messaging me at 11:50 on Monday saying, I'm having uploading problems. And first of all, I don't really believe that half the time because, I can go into Canvas and look under your profile and see how many attempts you tried to upload. And so I've actually had students tell me, oh yeah, I'm having upload problems. And I'm like, show me the screen you're getting, take a photo of it. I want to see it. And they can't provide that for me. And then I go into Canvas and I look at how many times they've uploaded and it says they haven't even tried to upload. So I'm like, well, it must be their internet then if it's not showing that they're uploading. So I'm like, check your internet connection because it's not Canvas, it's you. So if your internet is out, your internet's not working, I do not accept that as a valid excuse for not turning in your work. And here's why. So my goal for you, this is what I want you to do. Now, I can't force you. And the due date is 11:59 p.m. on Monday. I honor that. That's what it says in the syllabus. But between you and me, between us, I want you to turn your work in much earlier than that. What I want you to strive for and aim for is to get your work in by Friday, just any point on Friday. So Monday through Friday, work hard, get your stuff done, turn in your stuff. That way, if you have any uploading problems, any issues, any whatever, you can text me and we can solve it. I think that most students who do follow my advice and do start turning in their work on Fridays, they begin to see the value of turning in things ahead of time. Because if you do have a problem, you've got time to fix it, but also it frees you up to have fun and do what you want to do on the weekend. So for example, I'm working 3 jobs, like I mentioned. I don't always get to take weekends off. I don't. But what I do like to do is try to get as much of my work done by Friday so I don't have such a heavy workload on the weekend. And that way I can really enjoy myself and have fun on some of the nights on the weekend. You know what I mean? But if I am, swamped with work on the weekend, if I do try to go out and do something fun, I notice I'm always stressed about, I got to go home and do this work. And it makes it so I can't have as good of a time. So what students who start to turn their work on Fridays notice is that not only do they have more time on the weekend, but they notice that the time that they spend is much more restful and happy, and that they enjoy their time off a little bit more because they know they've completed everything they need to complete. And some of them even get started on the next week's stuff. I have a couple hours, I'm just going to go ahead and knock some stuff out for next week. So they start working ahead. So what I would like you to do is start thinking in terms of how can I work ahead? How can I get ahead? So that way, my workload later is better and chill. Okay, so going back to what I was saying about internet and your internet going out. So if your aim and your goal is to get your work turned in by Friday, even if your internet goes down for a day or whatever, when you're trying to turn it in, it's like you have the next day to figure it out. So if it's like a whole outage, like a whole internet, like all of Rancho Cucamonga is down, all of Fontana's down, something like that. If that is the case, then I will give you some extra time to turn in your assignment if you can prove that, the whole city was out. And that's not hard to do because, if it's out, there's a record and the electric company has that, or the internet providers have that. So it's easy to kind of see, But what I don't want is for you to constantly be having uploading problems on the day of the due date. And I noticed there's some students that always seem to be having those problems in those last 10 minutes. And I'm going to warn you right now that I am not going to feel sorry for you. And I'm just going to say, no, I can't take your work late. Sorry. Because I want you to learn to be more responsible. And the only way to teach you that responsibility or that personal responsibility or to get things done ahead of time is to hold you accountable. And so if you are trying to turn things in at the last minute because you procrastinated and didn't do anything until Monday, and then it's 11:50 and you can't upload your work because your internet went down, that I'm sorry, I'm not going to take late work. Now, if your stuff does go down, and that does happen, these are the things you need to do. You need to text me immediately. My phone number, 909-224-1204. It's all over the syllabus. It's all over Canvas. 909-224-1204. So you need to text me right away, and you need to email me the assignments right away. So within, I would say, if you're having upload problems at 11:50 and you're struggling and you're like, this isn't working, email me the assignments, text me that you emailed me. If you do those two things, I will take a look at it. And if it looks like you did complete all your work ahead of time and that you really were just having an upload problem, I will honor the situation. I will give you credit because you did turn it in on time. You just turned it into my email. Got it? So if you're struggling, do it that way. Now, if your internet is down, a lot of times your phone is still working because you can use SMS or your actual, what is it called? Your actual provider, cell phone provider. So your cell phone provider will still be working. So you can just take photos of the assignments. I don't care if it's like you take a photo of your computer, but just what I want to see is proof that you have everything completed before the due date. Because what I don't want is for you to try to tell me, oh, I had all these upload problems, and you're over there trying to get your work done and you're trying to buy yourself a couple more hours. That's not going to work here. That will not work. And other students have definitely tried to do that and abuse that. And so that is why I'm so strict about it, because I'm the nicest person. I love to help people. Trust me. I want you to be successful. But sometimes the best way to help people is, I guess, tough love or by setting limits and boundaries. And so it's kind of like video games where, when you make a jump in a video game and you don't do it properly and you fall to your death, you don't get that life back. You failed, you learned. The next time you do that jump, you're probably going to do it correctly, right? So same thing here. If you try to get away with something here, it's not going to work. And then the next time you're going to be like, well, I better get my work in on time or she's not going to take it. And I already lost 150 points last week, so I don't want to lose it again this week. That's what I'm trying to do. So it's nothing personal. I'm not trying to be, rude. I'm not trying to, just be mean for no reason. I'm trying to hold you accountable and teach you personal responsibility for your assignments and respect for, me and my time and everybody else in their time, because it's not fair if other students are working hard to turn their work in ahead of time and you're trying to buy yourself extra time. That's not fair at all. Now, I am very fair in terms of I literally have the same rules for everybody. I do not play favorites. It's just, this is the rule. It's applied this way, period. That's how I roll. Okay? So, if you have any problems with Canvas for any reason, or you notice that something is screwed up, or if I say, oh, week 5 is open, and you're like, wait, week 5 is not open, please text me right away. I do reward students who let me know of Canvas problems or things that are glitching or things that are an issue. So if it's my mistake and I made a screw up, I will give you some extra credit points for pointing it out, because I'm not perfect. And like I said, I'm working 3 jobs, and sometimes I'm so busy that, I kind of have to get through things rather quickly. I overlook things, whatever. I'm a human being. So if I screw up, please let me know. I will not be offended. I will be very pleased that you're paying attention, first of all. And if you're the first person to let me know of an issue or problem, I will give you extra credit for helping me to fix that issue. Okay? What else? So please do not email me assignments unless you are having upload problems. But if you are having upload problems, please email me the assignments right away and text me as well. Now my email, also all over the syllabus and everywhere, it's AMY period BORGHI at chafee.edu. So it's Amy period Borgi at chafee.edu. And again, like I said, it's all over the syllabus, all over Canvas. So what else? Did that. Okay, sorry, I kind of trying to catch up over here. Okay, so, yes, my availability and Zoom meetings and things like that. So I actually have all my meetings programmed in my phone here really quick. Let me look. So I think they're called open office hours. So I have actually an office hour on the 18th, which is Tuesday. So it's Tuesday, October 18th, which would be, I guess you'll be watching this either Sunday or Monday. So it'll be, Tuesday is the meeting. And the meeting is from 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock via Zoom. I will be posting the link to the meeting in announcements on that Tuesday. But if you have, if you're a DPS student, please stop by the meeting, or at least give me a text or call so I can just touch base with you so we can make sure we got your accommodations covered. If you are concerned about the class for any reason, or you have a question, or you just want to say hi because you would like to introduce yourself, because I always like that. When we're doing these online classes, like, I don't know you guys at all. It's like I just see a picture of you and that's it. And I don't really get a chance to get to know you like I would if this was an in-person class. So it's kind of cool if you stop by and say hi in the office hour. The way the office hours work is it's on Zoom, and you'll go into like a waiting room, and I take students first come, first serve. I do have more than one class, and so those meetings are for all my classes. And so it's not just our class, it's a bunch of classes. So sometimes there's quite a few people who stop by. I do give about 5 minutes per student before moving on, unless there's no one waiting. And every once in a while I have a meeting where it's like just me and one student, and we just talk for an hour, and it's great. So I don't mind, chatting about whatever. And I would say if you have like any concerns about the class, or you have a situation that's, that you should probably let me know about, that'd be a good time to do it. If for some reason you can't make that time or whatever, we can always set up a phone meeting, or even a text meeting. We can talk via text. It's absolutely fine. Just give me a call, okay? My next office hour is on Friday, October 28th. You might want to put that in your day planner or your calendar. It's at 5 o'clock p.m. And I do believe this is right before one of the drop deadlines for this class. And that's the reason why I chose that particular day. So that meeting will be to go over people's grades to see if they are still in a position to pass or not pass. I also have another office hour on Tuesday, November 15th. That is right before the final drop deadline for this class. And that one is at 7 o'clock p.m. And then I have Wednesday, November 30th, another office hour from 5 to 6 p.m. And that will be as we're going into like finals and things like that. And then I actually have one right before the class is over on December 5th. And that will be just any grade related issues or, last minute things you want to talk about the class before we close the class out, which I think the class ends on the 8th. So those are all my office hours throughout the term. That's quite a bit. So you have quite a few opportunities to meet up with me. I do want to say that, so because I told you I'm working 3 jobs, so I'm actually working basically in a school setting. So right now I'm teaching special ed. It's a long-term substitute position in a special ed classroom. And so I am pretty busy, like to the point where I can't really get back to people because I'm in the middle of trying to deal with a bunch of special kids that need my 100% attention. So I'm usually busy from like early morning until about 3:30 p.m. So if you text me during those times and I can get back to you, like I have a break or something, I will. But if you don't hear back from me, just know I'm with the special ed kids and I will get out at 3:30. And when I see your text, I will get to it as soon as I can. Same thing with phone calls. Phone calls, it usually takes me about, I'll call back within 24 hours if you call me. but I might not be able to get back to you right away because I'm usually busy doing something. So my availability in terms of if you need something from me would be 3:30 p.m. till probably around 10. I'm free every weekday. And then on the weekends, I am around, but I do have a life. I know it's like I do go out and have fun and stuff. So I'm not always like right by my phone on the weekend. Sometimes I go hiking and I have no reception. So it just depends. But please don't hesitate to text me because it's actually the fastest and easiest way to get in touch with me. Email, it takes me 24 to 48 hours to get back to you. So if it's something that you have time and it's cool if you don't hear from me right away, email. But if you need me right away, you want a response quickly, please text me. Okay, so there's a certain order I want you to go about the class as you go through each week. So this is what I want you to do. I have it all written down so I don't screw it up. Okay, so first thing you want to do each week is check your course syllabus. The course syllabus is already available in Canvas, so you should be able to just go download it. I have it in a couple of places. It's in week 1, but it's also in the course introduction by the syllabus contract assignment. You want to then take your day planner out and put your assignments into the day planner like I told you to. Then you're going to look at the readings and figure out, okay, when should I do those? And schedule the readings more towards the beginning of the week. So you want to do all the reading first, because the assignments don't make sense unless you do the reading first. So do the reading, then do the assignments. Then you're going to go to the modules tab and you're going to go to the weeks and you're going to start going through the things in Canvas. So you'll watch PowerPoints, you'll look at the movies, you'll look at the assignments. Okay, then lastly, you'll actually do the assignments. And you should save that for the last. And I would say do the regular assignments first, then do the discussions. Now, I'm going to say this because I feel like a lot of my students in my other class right now are just screwing this up. So I'm saying it now because hopefully you're listening. So in class discussions, you will post something. And then after you post it, you have to go back and you have to respond to other students' posts. So that means you have to go back, scroll back up, and then read through their stuff, decide which ones you want to comment on, and then comment on it. Now, in the assignment itself, it always gives a length requirement for how long these responses have to be and how many students you have to respond to. So in some assignments, it's like respond to 1 student and use 5 sentences. In other assignments, it's like respond to 3 students and use 5 sentences each. And others, it's respond to 2 students and use 2 sentences each. So you really have to pay attention to what the requirement is. And a good way to do that is to check the rubrics. But so rubrics are basically like a breakdown of how I will be grading your assignments. I use them to grade your assignments. So the way that I do it is you'll go to the assignment, you'll turn it in. And then at the very bottom of the assignment, you'll see a rubric for that assignment. And it'll tell you exactly what I'm looking for. So you can look at those rubrics and it makes it easy. And then I use that exact rubric to grade. So I'll go into your assignment, I'll pull up that rubric, and I'll literally click whether you got those points for each little thing or not. And that's it. I can write comments into the rubric, and then also at the bottom of the page, there's a main place where I can put comments on your assignments. In discussions, the rubrics are a little harder to find, and I think that's why students kind of are like confused or don't know what to do sometimes. So you'll have to go up to I guess it would be your right, so your right hand side, and you will click on the 3 dots at the top of the assignment, and then it'll say show rubric. Click on show rubric, and then you'll see the rubric that I used for grading. And you can see it'll say how many sentences you need and how many students you have to respond to right there if you're struggling with reading the whole assignment. Okay? So hopefully that made sense. Okay, so what I don't want you to do is I don't want you to use the assignments tab to keep track of your assignments. I know. It's so difficult to remember all these things that I want you to do and not do. So please bear with me here. So this is why. So the assignments tab will list all the assignments that are open in the class. But the problem is not all of the assignments that you need to complete are listed there. So all the readings are not listed there. So if you're just going by the assignments tab, you're missing all the readings. You need your course syllabus for that. The other things that aren't there are tests or quizzes and discussions. And so imagine if you just use the assignments tab, you would miss every quiz, every discussion. There's a couple of discussions every single week. That's a lot of points. And also, you wouldn't know what the readings are either. So it would be really difficult for you to do well in the class if you're just using that assignment tab to figure out what you're supposed to be doing. It's useful, like the assignments tab is useful if you're checking your grades on your assignment. So like if you want to check what I said, what comments I made, how many points you got in an assignment, go to the assignments tab, and then there's little icons next to each assignment, and you'll click on those and it'll give you different viewpoints, and you can kind of see, oh, here's the graded rubric with the comments in it for this assignment. Cool. That's what it's good for. So, but in terms of keeping track of assignments and things that you need to do, it's terrible. Now, I have in every single week, if you're in module view at the beginning of the week, I have an assignment list there that has all the stuff that's due for that week, and then all the stuff that's coming up for next week. And that includes everything, including the quizzes, including the readings, including the assignments. So that is more helpful and useful. It's also the exact same thing that's in your syllabus. So that's why I say check your syllabus. Your syllabus is the place to look for the assignments to see what you need to do. And when you're writing stuff down in your day planner about what you need to do, you should be writing down the readings, the assignments, the discussions, the tests, everything, not just the assignments. Make sense? Okay, good. All right, so I've already said this, but I'm gonna just say it again. There's no late work in this class. If you miss the deadline, you miss the deadline, and that's that. You can make up some work with extra credit, and the way I have my class set up is I have about 400 points of extra credit available. The class is about 3,000 points total. I think it's about 2,800 points. But basically the way that I do things with points is if you miss something, like let's say you forget to turn in your books and your day planner. You didn't get them on time or whatever, it didn't work out. You're out 30 points because that's a 30-point assignment. Now, most assignments in this class are between 20 and 40 points, but there are a couple of assignments that are worth a lot more. And we'll be talking about those in just a moment. There are 3 of them, and they are worth 500 points apiece. So that's about half your grade because it's 1,500 points. So, and the class is 3,000 points total. So that's half your grade. So the other half of your grade is all these other assignments. So these books are worth 30 points. You forgot to turn them in, or you didn't get your books on time, and now you are like, how do I make up those points? And so I do have extra credit. It's offered throughout the term, and it's offered, I do have it in Canvas, like you'll see, or not in Canvas, I do have it on the syllabus, like you'll see where the extra credit assignments are in Canvas, but there are some extra credit assignments that I add in just on Canvas. So you won't know about them unless you go to Canvas and kind of look through the whole module and see, oh, there's an extra credit. So I throw them in there. They are all at the end of the syllabus. If you look at the syllabus, there's a page at the very end that goes over all the assignments and all the points in the class. And there's a little section on extra credit, and it has every single extra credit assignment. So you can kind of keep track of how many have been completed so far or how many have already been used up, because extra credit isn't available all the time. It's only available for, a week at a time, or the assignments are only available for a short time. And I start them at the beginning of the term. So if you don't do the assignments at the beginning of the term that are extra credit, then those extra credit points will no longer be available to you as you go through the course. So my advice, this is just my advice, you don't have to do it, but I really strongly recommend it. If you see something that says extra credit, just do it. In addition to the work that you're already doing, it will buy you some insurance. Just in case something happens and you do miss some assignments, you won't be in a dire situation. Because even though there's 400 points of extra credit, not all of them are available the whole time. So the further you get towards the end of the term, the less extra credit points are left available to you. Okay? So hopefully that makes sense. The reason why I have the class set up this way is because we have these big because we have these big assignments called the Success Center assignments. So I'm going to just go into that and talk about them right now. So for this class, the Success Center assignments begin this week. on Monday. So you can start them right away. And I recommend starting them right away. So if you do them during the first week that they are offered, you will get 40 points of extra credit in addition to the 500 points you would already get. And if you think about that, there's 3 of them. So, that's 120 points of extra credit just for doing each one during the first week it's offered. Now, they're offered in about 2-week increments. So the first one we're going to be doing is mindset. So that'll be week 1 and 2. You'll have an opportunity to complete mindset. Weeks 3 and 4 will be learning strategies. And weeks 5 and 6 will be time management. So the way that you'll do these workshops is, you'll go into the course introduction this week, and you'll take a look at the page titled Procedures, How to Access Success Center Workshops. So you'll go into that page. All the instructions on how to complete them are there. But here's roughly what you'll do. You do need a student ID card. If you do not have one, there is a link that will let you sign up to get a new one virtually. Or you could go to the SSA building and get an ID there. But I think you do have to pay money if you've already gotten an ID and you've lost your ID. They used to do free Thursdays, like a free renewal on Thursdays, but I don't know if they still do that or not. So you could always ask, I guess. But you will need a student ID. If you do not have your student ID, but you do have your student ID number, I recommend that you try to attend a workshop anyway without your student ID, but start the process of getting another ID so that way for the second one, you have it. Because sometimes the Success Center guides that actually lead those workshops will allow you to just use your student ID number if you can show that you applied for an ID, but it hasn't come yet. So what I would do is apply for the ID. The link to do that is right in the assignment. So if it says if you don't have your ID, click here. Just click there, follow the directions, order your ID. Take a photo of proof that you did that. So when you do log in to Zoom to complete the workshop, you can show the success guide that's leading the workshop that you have applied for an ID, but you don't have it yet. Can you just use your student ID number? Most of the time, they will allow you to do it that way. They don't have to, but most of them do because they understand it takes a while to get an ID these days because we're doing it online. Okay? If you have your student ID, just make sure you have that with you. You will be doing these through the BTH Success Center. That is the Business, Technology, Hospitality Success Center. So that Success Center is the only place where you can complete these 3 activities. You cannot do them at the other centers. There's other centers. You can't use those ones. You can only use the BTH Success Center. So in the assignment, it actually has a link to the BTH Success Zoom rooms. There are 2 of them. One of them is for workshops that fall on a Monday through Friday. So if it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday, you'll use that link. The other link is for the weekends. So if it's Saturday or Sunday, you'll use that link. Okay? I had some students who were confused by that, but it's really not that confusing if you read the directions. In the assignment, there's a schedule. The schedule tells you when the workshops take place. Now, it's really important that you don't just print out that schedule and use it for the rest of the term because they constantly change the workshops. I think this semester alone, they have drastically changed the schedule 5 times already. So it's important that you look and check and make sure they haven't changed anything before you go to attend. You need to arrive 10 minutes early in the Zoom room because once you click on that Zoom link, it's going to take you to a page where you have to fill out some information. That information is going to be your name. I know you have to fill out which class it is, Guidance 507, but you also need the section number. And I think I have that in the assignment too. So that way they can tell which class you're a part of. And that will be helpful. If you don't have that information, make sure you get it before you get on there. You also will have to put in other types of information. They ask you a bunch of questions about your experience at Chafee and what you're taking, what class you're taking, whether you're doing this for requirement or not. And I do have a list of what you should put as those answers in that assignment. Okay, it's in that procedure, how to complete or how to access Success Center workshops. So inside there, make sure you read that page all the way through. Don't just skim it. Read it. It's got all the information for these really high ticket assignments. So mindset is worth 500 points. If you fail to complete it, if you don't complete it, you will see an F on your in your grade section in Canvas. So if you want to check your grade, there's a grade section. If you click on grades, your grade will just pop right up and you'll see how many assignments you've completed and you'll see your percentage. Now, you won't see a letter grade there, you'll just see the percentage. And so, if you don't know, it's like 90% and above is an A, 80% and above is a B, 70% above is a C, and 60% is D, and then F is anything below 60%, so 59 and below. So you could kind of get a feel for your letter grade that way. But you'll be seeing an F for quite a long time if you don't complete the mindset workshop, because obviously, like, it's going to take us a while to get to the point where we have enough points completed in the class to where the mindset workshop isn't going to just completely screw up your grade. So I really recommend that you get that mindset workshop not only done on time, but done during that first week so you can get the 40 points. Now, again, I'm offering that for learning strategies as well. So when we do that one in weeks 3 and 4, if you do it during week 3, then you'll get 40 points. Same thing with time management. If you do it during weeks 5 and 6, then during week 5, if you do it, you'll get 40 points. So please take advantage of that extra credit. You already have to do the activity. It's just fitting it in that week. Don't wait. Why would you wait? So many people do wait. I don't understand why. It's like, why would you wait when you're going to get basically free shit if you just do it early? I don't understand why you wouldn't. Okay. So those success center activities are very, very, very important. You cannot make them up for any reason. And I'm just going to say, I had a girl once that had cancer. She had cancer. And she asked if she could make up something because she had to go to the doctor a bunch of times that week or something. She wanted to make up the success center activities, and the program said no. Yep. So your excuse, whatever it is, it's not going to work. And I have had people, even this semester, try to be like, can I make that up? The answer is no. You can't. You cannot make it up. I'm not kidding. This isn't a drill. You cannot make up these 500-point assignments. You miss one, you're out an entire letter grade. Mindset's worth an entire letter grade in the class. If you miss one, you can still pass. But you're going to have a C, maybe a B plus if you've done all the other work, right? And you do all the extra credit. But if you miss 2, you are gone. Like, I mean, depending on where we are in terms of the drop deadline, if you miss that second one, the drop deadline is freakishly after that learning strategies, the second workshop. So if you miss 2 workshops, you're not going to pass the class and you won't be able to drop it either. So you'll be in a bad position. You will end up with an F or an FW in the class if you miss 2. Please don't do that. Please just do them all. Please get them done. Please use your day planner and stay on top of your stuff so you don't put yourself in that position, okay? Now, I also want to say that the Success Center assignments are the program, Opening Doors program. It's their assignments. They are not my assignments. The Success Center, BTH Success Center, runs those assignments completely. And so I do not have any control over the Success Center, how they do things, what time they offer workshops, whether they do a good job or not. Like, not me. It's not me. I'm just sending you to the Success Center to get those completed because it's part of this class and it's part of the grade in the class, and it's important that you get those done. So you will learn a lot while you're there. They're very valuable experiences, and a lot of students have written in their testimonials for the class that the Success Center assignments were one of the most useful things they have done in not only in this class but in their entire college career. So not only is it important that you go for your grade, it's important that you go for your development and for your growth as a student, because what they do is they go over these topics that we're discussing in class in a lot more detail, and they have a discussion where you can talk about it, with people live on Zoom, which is great, and I think you should definitely take advantage of that. So it's not like it's a punishment. It's actually something you should be excited to do, and you'll learn a lot from. So I don't see why you wouldn't do them. And a lot of people somehow manage to miss them, and I don't know how you managed to miss them with me telling you, like, they're 500 points. They're worth a whole letter grade. Like, how could you miss that after I tell you that? Please use your day planner and put it in there. So if you do miss one, check in with me, please. Please let me know. So we can talk about it. We could go over your grade. We can make sure and see what you need to do and see if you're in a position to pass. If you're not in a position to pass, I'll tell you to drop if dropping is available. If it's past the drop deadline, I might, and you're not in a position to pass, I might just tell you, you should just go do something else for a couple months and come back in the spring and retake the class with me. It'll be all right, If you've only taken the class one time with me, you can always come back and take it again. So you have like another shot at it if you have a year's worth of amnesty, right? You have a whole year to finish, so you could retake it. But I'm sure you probably won't want to after putting in all that effort and just missing the success center. If for some reason that you plan on not finishing the class, maybe you've been here a week and you're like, this is a lot of work, I don't want to do this, then please take a second and actually drop the class. That would be really helpful and useful. If you do not drop the class, you will end up with an FW in the class. The only time I'm dropping people is the census drop on the 20th. So like if you don't fill out the syllabus contract and turn it in, or you never showed up in Canvas at all, I will be dropping you. But then after the 20th, I will not drop you for any reason. You have to drop yourself after that point. And so if you're not gonna, even if you plan on never coming back to school, like I'm done with school, please just take a second, drop the class, because you never know. 10 years from now, you might come back. And if you come back and you see those F's on your report card and they affect your GPA, you're going to be really mad that you just didn't take the second to go on My Chafee View and just drop the classes. So no matter what, if you're planning on dropping out of school, take a second and drop the classes first before you head out. It'll save you a lot of headache later if you do ever come back. And I know you might be saying, I'm never coming back. You never know. I have a lot of students that return back after 10, 15 years, and they come back and want to start over, and then they've got to deal with all these F's because they didn't drop their classes the last semester when they quit. So just take a second, drop the class if you're not going to continue. Also, if you're planning on dropping, you might want to check in with me, because a lot of people, especially if they miss that mindset workshop, they're stressed because they're seeing that F on their grades. And truth be told, even though you're seeing an F, you're not in a failing position, meaning if you do all the rest of the work in the class, eventually you'll see the tables turn and you'll start to see your grade improving. When you get that second success center activity done, you put that in, that'll make a big difference, and you'll start to say, okay, I'm not going to fail. But if you just look at it, oh, I'm already failing, and it's like week 3 because I didn't complete mindset. If you're taking it at face value, you might think you need to drop the class. But in reality, if you go over your grade with me, I can show you there's tons of points left in the class. And if you get those points, you're still in a position to pass. Does that make sense? So sometimes it might look like you're doing terribly because we have these huge 500-point assignments. And if you miss one of them, it can really screw up your grade for a long time in Canvas. But that doesn't mean that your grade is beyond repair, that you can't fix it. It just means you need to talk to me and we need to go over what you need to do so you can fix it. Does that make sense? So please don't just drop without checking in with me, because you might find that you're in a better position than you think you are. Okay. So I do want to say, and this is kind of important, all of this is important. I mentioned that there's a lot of work in the class. And I also mentioned that, I have a lot of work for a reason. But I didn't mention that we have Thanksgiving in the middle of the class. I think it's during maybe week 6 of the class. Maybe it's week 7, somewhere towards the end there. But it's a very pivotal and important week in the class. And because this is only an 8-week class, we really don't have time to take a break. So you're going to have to know and understand that I'm not going to go light on your coursework because Thanksgiving exists. I just want you to know that from the beginning. So if you have like some important trip that you're going to take a whole week off for Thanksgiving or something like that, and you think you have that time to do it, you don't in this class. You do not. This is an 8-week class. I don't have anywhere to push that stuff. You know what I mean? Like I can't take that stuff and put it somewhere else. There's nowhere else to put it. It has to go in that week because there's only 8 weeks. And we do have to cover a certain amount of information for this course to count. Like it has to be a certain number of hours that we're working, and it's 9 hours a week. So that means even on the week where there's no physical class during that weekend, you still have homework that week. So I will try my best to load everything on Canvas a little bit ahead of time for Thanksgiving because I have the ability to do that. So I can make those weeks open a little bit earlier. So that way, when we get to that Thanksgiving week, you could have worked ahead and you wouldn't have to be in a position where you're working at the last minute on Monday, trying to get that stuff all done because it is a lot of work during that week. It's a particularly busy week in this class. So I'm sorry ahead of time, but that is the way the cookie has crumbled and we are going to have to pick up those crumbs and deal with it. Okay. So letting you know. So if that is a deal breaker for you, make sure you drop the class. Don't just take off. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I did that. We're getting to the end finally. Sorry it's taking so long, but okay, I went over my office hours. I did say turn in all your work on Canvas. Only email me if it's not working. That's the only reason you should email me work. You can email me if you have questions or you need something. But remember, I get back to people fastest via text if you need something. Okay, so you should be taking notes on your reading. We are going to go over note-taking and in great detail, and I will give you a lot of different note-taking styles that you can use. And in fact, I would say throughout the whole class, I'm just going to be giving you information, just throwing tools at you, and you're going to catch the tools, and you'll look at them and go, okay, this one's cool. I'll pocket that. This one sucks. Throw that out. And what I want you to do is just take a look at the tools, try them out, try out as many as you can, and find ones that work for you. Get rid of things that don't work for you. Because we're all different, we all have different ways of learning, different learning styles, etc. But what I do want you to do is make sure that you're taking notes on your reading. Because when you're reading this book, you're not going to go back to the book and reread it for the test, right? No one does that. But if you take notes, maybe you will review the notes. So make sure you take notes as you go through the book. It doesn't have to be too crazy, just enough so it jogs your memory for what you're reading. And when we do go through note-taking, you'll have some styles that you can use, and then you can apply those to your note-taking for your reading. There is a quiz every week. Not the first week, but there's a quiz week 1, week 2, week 3, throughout the week. So there is a quiz next week on the contents of this video and Canvas. So I'll be asking you questions about Canvas, how you do things, procedures for the class. So I think one of the questions is there late work, true or false, or there is late work, true or false, something like that. So you will know what to do when you get there if you watch this video and you reviewed all the items in Canvas for the course introduction and for week 1. Use sensory tools while you're working. So for some people, I noticed in this class, there's a lot of what we call tactile kinesthetic learners, and those are people that are more hands-on, and I am a hands-on person. I actually have ADHD. I know maybe some of you guys do as well. And so I struggle a lot with paying attention, and I'm hyperactive. I'm always moving around. That's why I use my hands all the time when I'm talking. I can't just sit stiffly or still. I have trouble sitting still. So I have sensory tools that I actually use while I'm working, and I brought some of them here to share with you. So I have this little owl. He's a little owl cozy. You could just put it on your hand. He's an owl, see? But I like to play with him while I'm working, and I don't know, sometimes just sticking my hand in here and kind of, messing with it while I'm working is all I need. I just mess around with it, and, it's nice. So when you have your hands busy, it's sort of like it frees your brain up to pay attention. It helps a lot. I also listen to either music or white noise while I'm working because it helps distract me. It helps distract my auditory system so I can read. Okay, I also have this sensory tool with me today. This is This is a bunny. I got it last year, I think at Easter or something like that. And I like to leave the tags on things. I don't know. I just like playing with the tag as well. But it's like a long, like a noodle-y thing. You can stretch it. I mean, I can wear it as a headband if I want to. Go like this, you know. Try not to like annoy people around you, but if no one's around, then you can do whatever you want. But I just like to play with this stuff. It has these little hairs on it. Let's see. Yeah. See that? And they're plastic. They're rubbery. And they just feel really good to kind of feel. So this is a good sensory tool. I also have a little kitty corn here. I don't know. I just like holding her. She's very fun to touch and fuzzy, and it's nice. And again, love to leave the little tags on. And I just enjoy having like little tools like this. I have some other ones over here. I am I like to have things to play with while I work. And it just helps me to stay more focused. And maybe it'll work for you. Maybe try using white noise or purple noise or black noise. If you go on YouTube, you could just type in like purple noise and it'll pull up purple noise and you'll hear that. And for some of us, it's great. Like just put that headphones in and turn the purple noise on and start working. And it's just, wow, I can pay attention. This is great. All right, I think I'm almost to the end here. I think that might be the end. Okay, cool. So you are going to notice a huge change in yourself as a result of taking this class. I don't have too many students who get through the entire course that aren't completely transformed by what they've done in the class. And yes, all the materials are there for you, but it's up to you. You get the most if you put the most in. So if you put the time and effort into the class, you're obviously going to get a lot more out of it than if you just were like, oh, I'm just going to type something and I'm not going to do any of the reading. The reading is, it is life-changing stuff. The 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, despite the fact that it's for teens, it's an amazing book. It's geared towards students. It's easy to read. All the information is really compressed and just, this is what you need to know. So if you are, the type of person who struggles to read, get the audiobook of that. Get the audiobook. It's amazing. You can just listen to it. Listen to it while you work out, whatever. It will change your life. It has changed my life multiple times. I would say every time I read it, I get something more out of it. And it is the same information that's in the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But that book is geared towards the workforce, so people who are in the workforce. Whereas the teen book is geared towards students. So even though you're not high school students, the information is still the same and it's very applicable. And it's a lot easier to read than the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But that book will change your life. Absolutely. The other book, On Course, it's more of a textbook format. I would say the 7 Habits book is more of like a self-help book. But On Course is also a self-help book, but it's presented in a textbook format. And it has a lot of the same information as the 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens, but it's in much more detail, and it gives you a lot more of the research background, like where they're pulling the information and research from. It also is, I would say, chapter 6. If you read that chapter and you apply that chapter to your life, it's like getting free therapy. It is very transformative. It teaches you how to take personal responsibility for your life in such a way that you become sort of the master of your situation, whatever that is. You will come to conclusions. You will learn to set goals. You will learn to understand why some people are always stuck in the same rut and other people are making things happen. It will explain to you growth mindset, which is the belief that we can change our intelligence by working hard. It's such a good book. It's a great textbook. So if you are interested and you would like to see what some other students have thought about the course, I've actually placed the course testimonials for many of the semesters up in Canvas in week 1. And I even put in the fall fast track from this semester. They just finished last week. And so I went ahead and put their testimonials up for you so you can take a look at what students this semester have to say about this class. And it's the same format, 8 weeks. So you can take a look and see what they thought about it. A lot of them are like, there's a lot of assignments, but we understand why, because it's there for our success. I'm always really happy to see when people have completed the class and they have changed things or aspects of their life and improved. That makes me so happy, because I'm not here just for for the money, right? Because being a teacher, trust me, I'm not getting paid enough to teachers should get paid more, but I'm here to help you guys, and that is my mission. My goal is to help others, and this is a way that I found that I can really be effective in helping others. And so I'm delivering information that is life-changing and transformative for you. And you're in a position where you maybe have made some mistakes that have gotten you here, but those mistakes were actually really blessings in disguise. You might not know that yet, but as you go through this class, you'll start to see that because you made mistakes and you ended up here, it's not a bad thing. You're in the right place, and you're here for a reason, and you're here because you want to change and you want to become the best person that you could possibly become, and you want to be the best student that you possibly can become. And I have the information you need if you are willing to actually do the work. So yes, there's a lot of work, but it's not difficult. Not at least in a hard academic difficult kind of way. It can be difficult in an emotional way, because you're forced to kind of look at yourself and be like, okay, well, why am I doing this? Wait, why am I doing this? What am I doing? And sharing that with other students and giving feedback to other students on their journeys. And so we're all on a journey here together. I do need to say this. You must be polite, kind, and not rude, not mean to other students in this class. It's part of the syllabus contract, but if for some reason people are not being nice to each other, or people are making rude comments, or doing, just being jerks or whatever, I do have the right to kick you out of this class at any time. I've never had to do that with any student, any semester, ever, because all my students have been always amazing and very supportive and loving to each other. But I just need to throw that out there just so you know. I am watching, even in discussions, I may not make a lot of comments, but I am watching to make sure that everybody's on topic and everybody's treating each other well. All right? So, oh my gosh, this is so long. I'm so sorry that this video was so long, but on the upside, I did cover every single thing that I needed to cover, and this video should be helpful for you for the whole rest of the term. And I look forward to getting to know you better, to reading your work, giving you feedback, and watching you transform. It's your turn. All right, bye guys.